As we delve into the annals of history, a particular narrative stands out, a narrative imbued with the elements of conflict, ambition, faith, and power. This is a story that charts the tumultuous history culminating in the Crusades, an era marked by the clash of cultures and the wielding of power. Our tale rewinds back to the connective bridge between the eastern fertile lands and the western drought-stricken territories, the Mediterranean. Merchants crossed it, armies dreamt of conquering it, particularly those from the north, drawn to the warmth and promise beyond its shores. With ambition often comes conflict, and this region played host to the fleets of Alexander and later the Romans, marching under banners now carrying the cross. In the 11th century, before the Crusades took center stage, Europe was a mere geographical term. No countries as we know them today existed. Instead, Europe was a tapestry of feudal entities. Society then was starkly hierarchical. A military aristocracy commanded lands and dominated serfs, who comprised 99% of the populace. War was a staple economic strategy amidst these feudalist wars, but underlying chaos could only be controlled for so long. The power struggle between the church and political rulers, a tension of secular versus religious authority, further destabilized Europe. The church, possessing vast territories and treasures beyond even kings, was likened to a spiritual force meant to overshadow temporal dominions. This struggle was as fierce as any battle waged on land. From across the Mediterranean, the Islamic world's own complexities were mirrored but magnified by division. The Abbasids of Baghdad and the Fatimids of Egypt, Shiite and Sunni factions at odds even within overlapping territories. Fragmented, the Islamic states faced an invasion not because they were weaker or less brave, but because of a lack of unity that rendered Jerusalem vulnerable and prey to ambitions of the Holy Land. Urban II seized the opportunity during a pitiful period of European existence. In 1095, he galvanized a populace yearning for purpose by proclaiming the Crusade at the Council of Clermont. The Crusade was spun as a divine mission to reclaim lands sanctified by Jesus Christ, now in possession of Muslim heretics. The crowd's response was fervent, God wills it, and the emblematic cross began to march east once more. The Crusaders, not the mightiest nor the most disciplined armies, moved with conviction bolstered by religious fervor. Their initial episodes involved laying siege and eventually capturing Nicaea and Antioch. Exploiting divided Muslim defenses, Jerusalem fell in 1099, not a scene of triumphant glory, but one stained by bloodshed that bore testimony to the brutal reality of war. With the Holy Land under European control, the Muslim world faced the grim reality of disintegration and occupation. Yet from the chaos, leaders emerged, heralding a shift. Figures like Imad al-Din Zengi and his successor, Nur ad-Din Mahmud, a warrior prince of vision, started consolidating power to reclaim lost territories. They laid the groundwork for the Islamic restoration. Saladin, a name echoing through history, rose amidst this milieu. With strategic alliances and military might, he empowered Egypt into a fortress that defended against the Crusader advance. Upon the death of Nur al-Din, Saladin inherited not just a fractured kingdom, but also a vision that culminated in sustained efforts to liberate Jerusalem. Through relentless battles, strategic acumen, and an unyielding will, Saladin faced his adversaries both among Crusaders and within perplexed Islamic factions. His triumph at the Battle of Hattin in 1187 marked a pivotal victory, decimating Crusader forces and paving the way for the recapture of Jerusalem. His conduct contrasted against the earlier sacking, offering terms that allowed for peaceful exits, earning him reverence far beyond the borders of his empire. The shadow of Saladin stretched into the future, shaping the Crusades' later phases. Yet successive leaders could not maintain unified fronts, prolonging the Crusaders' foothold for a century further. The papacy and European powers, recognizing the shifting sands, eyed the richer soils of Egypt and plotted campaigns targeting the heart of Islamic power. Under new dynasties like the Mamluks, the balance of power perpetually shifted. The Mamluks, seasoned warriors themselves, tackled not just Crusaders, but also fended off the Mongol invasion. By the 13th century's close, the resolve of leaders like Al-Zahir Baybars and Al-Mansur Kalawan slowly dismantled the Crusaders' architecture of control. European focus shifted as sovereign states began to eclipse religious hegemony, leaving lasting imprints in the Reconquest chronicles. Ultimately, the era encapsulated a cycle of conquest and reconquest, an enduring testament to the resilient yet turbulent tides of history shaped by ambition, faith, and the indomitable human spirit.